It said there's a book written by a god, not imagined, not revealed, written. A manuscript so powerful, it grants dominion over heaven, earth, and even the underworld. But those who read it vanish, cursed, broken. The ancient Egyptians called it the Book of Thoth. Hidden, forbidden, lost. And yet, its legend has survived empires, crusades, and centuries of silence. Why? Because some truths are too dangerous to disappear. If you seek the secrets buried in myth, magic, and forbidden history, subscribe. What you're about to hear may change how you see everything. To understand the Book of Thoth, we must begin not with pages, but with a god. Thoth, or Jehudi in the ancient tongue, was no ordinary deity. He was a god of wisdom, writing, magic, science, and judgment, often depicted with the head of an ibis. He was believed to be the divine scribe, the one who recorded the fate of all souls and maintained the balance of the cosmos. But Thoth wasn't just a guardian of knowledge. According to ancient Egyptian priests, he was its source. Legends speak of a book, not just any sacred text, but one written by Thoth himself. It wasn't composed by a prophet or priest. It bore the literal hand of a god, and within it, truths too great for mortals to bear. In the myth of Set and Kamwas, a prince and high priest of Ptah, the Book of Thoth was hidden in a tomb protected by magic and curses. Seton defied warnings and stole the book, and with it, the power to speak with animals, manipulate reality, and command the heavens. But the knowledge came at a price. Seton's life unraveled. His children disappeared. His soul was judged. What made this tale so compelling wasn't only its supernatural allure. It was the insistence that the book truly existed and that its power was real. Over time, the name of Thoth traveled westward. The Greeks merged him with Hermes, birthing the figure of Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great, master of alchemy and divine wisdom. And so, what began as a myth in Egypt became the cornerstone of Hermetic philosophy in the ancient world. But this raises a deeper question. Were these just myths layered upon myths? Or were they all echoes of something that once was a book hidden by gods and hunted by mortals? In the myth of Set and Kamwas, the Book of Thoth is more than a relic. It is a gateway to divine dominion. The text describes abilities that defy comprehension. The power to enchant the sky, the earth, the sea, the gift to speak with animals, and even resurrect the dead. Seton read the book. He used its power. And then he lost everything. His story ends not in triumph, but in a terrifying reversal. The gods force him to return the book and curse him for his arrogance. But Seton was only the beginning. Later traditions, especially in Greco-Egyptian Alexandria, expanded these claims. Thoth's book was now linked with astrology, magic, medicine, and even the architecture of the universe. To the Hermeticists, it contained the principles of alchemy, not just to change lead into gold, but to transmute the soul itself. It wasn't about physical power. It was about becoming divine. Yet this promise came wrapped in peril. Every culture that touched the legend emphasized the same warning. The book could not be owned. It could only be survived. Which begs the question, did its power lie in its contents or in the madness it provoked in those who believed? The story of the Book of Thoth did not vanish with the fall of ancient Egypt. On the contrary, it spread, adapted, and reappeared through new ages and new seekers. The earliest known reference is a tale of Set and Kamwas from the Ptolemaic period, recorded in Demotic script, likely based on far older oral traditions. This account paints the book not just as dangerous, but actively protected by divine forces. Placed within a tomb, guarded by magic, watched over by spirits. Seton's punishment was eternal. And yet, this myth survived because it felt real. Later, in the Greek-dominated Alexandria, the myth transformed. Thoth merged with Hermes Trismegistus, becoming a symbol of secret wisdom. Philosophers and alchemists began searching for Thoth's writings, convinced that somewhere, in the ruins of Thebes, beneath the Sphinx, or hidden among the scrolls of the Library of Alexandria, lay the original manuscript. When that library burned, many claimed the book was among the lost. In the centuries that followed, legends reemerged in the Islamic world, where scholars refer to ancient Egyptian books hidden in pyramids. And during the Renaissance, thinkers like Giordano Bruno and Athanasius Kircher revived the Hermetic texts, believing they were echoes of the Book of Thoth. Then came Aleister Crowley. In the early 20th century, Crowley created his own Book of Thoth, not as a hoax, but as a transmission. He claimed to have received hidden knowledge through ritual and vision. His tarot deck, co-designed with Lady Freda Harris, was meant to represent the original wisdom of Thoth, disguised in symbols. But Crowley wasn't alone. Occult orders from Europe to the Americas began speaking of the book again. Some even claimed to possess it, though none could produce proof. Still, the belief endured. Across time, in hidden societies, sacred temples, and forbidden libraries, the search has continued. The question is no longer whether the book existed, but whether someone found it and kept it hidden. The Book of Thoth is not merely a relic of myth. It's a living presence within the modern occult. Much of its esoteric legacy has filtered into Western mysticism, particularly through the tarot. The so-called Thoth Tarot, designed by Aleister Crowley and Lady Freda Harris between 1938 and 1943, was intended as just another deck. It was a coded manuscript, an attempt to condense the essence of the forbidden book into a symbolic system. Each card brims with Egyptian imagery, Kabbalistic references, astrological signs, and Hermetic philosophy. Crowley claimed that the deck was inspired by a spiritual entity named Aiwass, whom he considered a messenger of Thoth himself. The Book of Thoth, in this vision, wasn't a literal papyrus, but a gnosis, a living knowledge conveyed through symbols. Occult societies such as the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn treated the book as a spiritual archetype, a map for inner alchemical transformation. Its chapters were not written in ink, but revealed through initiation, ritual, and vision. Some even believe that the book was multidimensional, a metaphysical construct that reveals itself only when one is properly attuned. In this interpretation, the Book of Thoth is not read, it is experienced. This esoteric framing may explain why so many seekers have failed to find a physical manuscript. Perhaps the book was never meant to be touched, only awakened within. Still, even today, among tarot readers, Hermetic scholars, and fringe historians, the term Book of Thoth carries weight. It remains a symbol of lost wisdom, of knowledge that reshapes the self. And the deeper one goes into its myth, the more another truth emerges. The Book of Thoth may not be found in a tomb. It may be waiting in the mirror of the mind. Is there a physical artifact behind the legend? Or is the Book of Thoth merely an allegory cloaked in centuries of mysticism? Some researchers propose that the book might be a real, ancient manuscript, a papyrus scroll or grimoire lost in the sands of Egypt. Egyptologists have uncovered thousands of funerary texts, magical incantations, and alchemical writings. Could one of these, misidentified or hidden away, be the infamous book? Others believe it may have once existed, but was destroyed, possibly in the burning of the Library of Alexandria or lost within the sealed chambers of Forgotten Tomb. The idea that it lies buried beneath the ruins of Hermopolis, the city sacred to Thoth, still attracts fringe archaeologists. Then there's a theory of concealment, that the Book of Thoth is hidden deliberately. Some point to the Vatican's secret archives, the underground repositories of Freemasonry, or private collections of wealthy occultists as possible hiding places. But perhaps the most intriguing theory is symbolic, that the Book of Thoth is not a book at all, but a metaphor, a coded structure of knowledge preserved in myths, symbols, and rituals. A book that rewrites the reader's mind, not through ink, but through insight. This would explain why its influence persists, why so many have searched, and why none have succeeded. Because the real Book of Thoth may not exist in this world at all, but in the space between belief and revelation. The Book of Thoth is more than a myth. It's a mirror reflecting humanity's eternal hunger for knowledge, power, and transcendence. Its legend endures because it speaks to something primal, the belief that there is knowledge so vast, so transformative, it can elevate or destroy, that beyond the boundaries of what is known lies a forbidden truth, waiting. Some say the book is buried beneath ruins. Others believe it lies in secret vaults. But perhaps the real danger was never the book itself, but what we become in trying to possess it, because knowledge is never neutral, and some truths were never meant to be held by human hands. So ask yourself, if the Book of Thoth appeared before you, would you read it? Or would you walk away, knowing that in doing so, you might have just passed by the key to the universe? If you believe there are still secrets worth uncovering, subscribe, like, and join us. The journey into the unknown has only begun.